Welcome back. You're watching This Morning on Channels Television. So at the beginning of the program, I talked about the fact that this week is Global Money Week, and the Central Bank of Nigeria has declared March 30 Financial Literacy Day, which will have managing directors and top management from some of the banks talking to school children about saving and about having a good entrepreneurship spirit. Now we had the Executive Director of Junior Achievement Nigeria, Simisola Unwogu, earlier on the program talking about this and what JAN has actually been able to achieve in the last 4 years since they started this. But this is one issue that isn't supposed to just be a one-off. Yes, there's Financial Literacy Day. What other issues and opportunities are there to encourage the young ones to have a good saving culture? Let's talk to Usman Olubajo, who is an investment analyst with ARM Securities. He will be giving us an analyst perspective on this. Usman, it's great to have you on the program.
Nice having me.
As well. So let's talk a little bit about the savings culture and take a look at Financial Literacy Day. You listened to Simisola earlier on the program. What did you make of what the Junior Achievement Nigeria is trying to achieve?
I think it's a good program, at least for them focusing on the youths. Based on Nigeria's demography, I think about 30% of our population are children below 15 years. And given the way the economy is, it's more of it's a strategic plan, at least. They are older people, irrespective of their awareness. They are not willing to go along with innovation. They're stuck with their old ways. But for the younger ones, they are willing to learn. They are cruise stages, and any knowledge gained or stuffs imbibed right now, it's very good in terms of the productivity of the child and Nigeria as a country as a whole. So strategically, it's important for us to start focusing our efforts on the youth, because number one, it increases productivity, reduces potential social unrest. Especially once you have a good financial plan as a child, you are less dependent on the government, on others, and overall, it's good for it holds positive potent for Nigeria's economy.
Usman, you're a young person just like me, and not so many of us had the opportunity to have this kind of things, taught to us as part of a curriculum in school. And apart from having non-profit organizations raising the bar like this, do you think that the government should also have that introduced, for instance, in curriculums on a general note? Because you look at the numbers, you see how these numbers come through, and it's expected that you have more young people participating in some segments of the market than the demography that you see.
I do think so. Banks have been in Nigeria for as long as I probably know. I'm not really sure when we had the first bank in Nigeria, but what you've seen is, despite the presence or the long history of banks in the country, a lot of people are still not banked, especially people who are within the non-formal education. And what you can't just expect just a sector in the economy to just be able to drive that. And the banks have done that for years, and they failed to be able to actually make a great number of the citizens being banked. So all efforts, governments, private, even international efforts that can be channeled towards that goal should actually be welcomed.
And then, of course, by April 1, the full implementation of the cashless policy begins across various states. So, of course, we had the pilot states and the pilot phase of it. How would you rate it? Was it successful?
So yeah, the pilot stage started in January 2012 with Lagos, and what we've seen is significant improvements on that front. At least according to NBS, the latest data between Q1 2015 and Q3 2016, and the number of online e-payments transactions has actually increased from about 12 trillion to over 18 trillion, and so that's significant improvement. And we've seen a number of the transactions actually done through ATM. So more people are actually engaged or are willing to participate in the cashless policy. Then perhaps the sanctions of you getting a lot of money, withdrawing a lot of money from the banks, might also have encouraged others, because nobody wants to actually lose his money to the government in addition to the taxes he's paying to the government. So that might have also been an incentive. But more importantly, the fact that not all the states have been it has not been, it wasn't compulsory for all the states. And like you said, a number of states, April 1, there will be more, and there will be fines for you withdrawing above a certain limit and depositing above a certain limit. But by 1st of October, all states in the country are expected to be fully, all states in the country are expected to fully roll into the program, and we should see increment in terms of online participation or non-cash transactions by Nigerian citizens. I think overall it's good in the sense that, number one, it reduces what they call black money, money that actually cannot be monitored, corruption, as well as even fraudulent activities. So overall for the country, it's good. For the financial sector, it's also very good.
So we have the Financial Literacy Day coming up, we have the cashless policy coming up, and then we also have an increased number of young people now actually having bank accounts.
Yes. So
it looks like it's been a very interesting build-up for this particular event.
Yes, I think so. I think so. I think overall, right now for the youths, it's a good way. The audience is a good target. Also, I think the banks as well as the government should also try as much as possible to increase awareness to citizens who are non-educated, because the fact is the main reason why they are shunning online platforms is largely because of security issue.
And then of course we also have issues with the internet as well. So sometimes that gives you too much of a headache and you decide, I don't want to do an online transaction, I'd rather go into the banking hall.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about broadband penetration in just a bit, but to ensure an efficient, cashless system, we need to have good broadband. Most of the banks have actually gone on board and gotten some really good, internet, but we still have issues of, downtime, transactions not being completed, or yes, it